Hi guys, I am trying to set up my camera because I never do this. I'm here to do a Thirsties Live on the basics of cloth diapering, washing. But I got this in the mail today, so I was really excited to show you. It's very, very pretty, and I hope you all love it. It was just so cute and girly, and I can't wait to see all the babies in them. Hi, Rebecca. So I'm here to talk about some, the basics of cloth diapering in terms of washing. I've had a lot of emails and questions on the groupies page about how to wash your cloth diapers, and so I'm just doing some basics. We definitely want you to leave any questions that you have on the post, and we will probably circle back to some eventually. This one is just going to be about the basics. So, thank you guys for joining. Oh, Erica, we will figure it out. No worries. So to start, I had a lot of questions recently that in terms of pre-washing, and I cannot stress how important pre-washing is. You definitely have to do a pre-wash cycle, because otherwise you're essentially washing your diapers in very dirty water, and that will just your detergent will just attack the water and then do nothing for your diapers. So then you're still having stink issues in it. So the first thing you want to do is run all of your cloth diapers in a short wash cycle, and usually a rinse and spin is not enough. So you want to do something like put all of your diapers into your machine. If you have an HE machine and it won't let you just do a pre-wash cycle, then you want to run it as short wash as possible. And make sure that it has a rinse and spin in it as well, because you want to, not only do you want to saturate the diapers and have them agitate, you want them to then get everything spun out and rinse them off a little bit. So if you're having stink issues and your machine is not doing you're just doing a rinse and spin, then I would do a short wash cycle. Make sure they agitate a little bit, and then rinse and spin, and then you're ready to start your hot wash. And if you have hard water, you can put Calgon in your pre-wash cycle. Personally, I had hard water in Colorado with washing my diapers, and I didn't use Calgon. I could have had softer water than some people, but it's not going to hurt anything. So if you want to if you use a little bit, it's totally fine. And then after your rinse and spin in your pre-wash cycle, then you would start your hot wash cycle, and that is where you're going to do all of the hard work for washing. So let's see. Oh, also, before doing the pre-wash cycle, I apologize, I forgot this part, is you want to remove as much waste as possible. I'm sorry, I think Kathleen is watching. It can't be Dave, because he wouldn't be sending me kissy faces, so it most likely is Kathleen. So for pre-washing, before washing, you want to get all the waste off of your diapers. You want to spray them, you want to wipe them off with some toilet paper, get all the waste off that you can. And I know recently there's been a lot of talk about spraying your nighttime diapers, which is a great idea if you're having ammonia in your nighttime diapers. Pre-wash or spraying before you store them is a great idea, because you're going to get as much of the urine out, which obviously urine turns to ammonia. So if you're having ammonia issues, definitely do that. And then one question, Rebecca, your cold or your warm pre-wash water is it's up to you. We know warm will definitely get out more waste than cold. Diaper waste leaves the diapers much faster in warm water than it does in cold water. It's the closest it is to body temperature, the easier it gets out of diapers. So if your machine lets you do a warm pre-wash cycle or something like that, then totally you may have some more staining, but it might get the rest of your waste out of the diapers, and then you have less stink. And staining, as long as your diapers don't stink, staining is totally fine. And then the rinse and spins can the rinse can be cold as well. So after spraying your diapers, running the pre-wash cycle, you get into your hot wash cycle. And so for your hot wash, you want to, a lot of it will depend on what your machine is. If you have an HE machine, you're going to want to wash less diapers. You're going to only do 12 to 15. You may or may not need to add a towel to help with agitation. Totally depends on how much water your machine gives you, and you might have to play around with it to figure out what's best for your diapers and your water. Oh, Erica, sometimes if really, I just need to know, she wanted to know if it would be better to email a picture of the washer. I don't know a lot about washing machines, so I can't tell you for sure based on the style of the washing machine, but if you can tell me what your cycle options are in terms of what gives you a long wash, that kind of thing is really beneficial. And for me to help figure out for you, I need to know how long your cycle is, how much water, kind of things like that. So once you get into your hot wash cycles, you will HE 12 to 15 diapers, standard top loading with or without an agitator. It would be around 18 to 20. And that's with your wipes and your wet bag, all of that. You just want to make sure you have around 18 to 20 or 15 to 12 diapers. And then you would add your detergent, and there's a lot of options about detergents. You want a detergent that is going to get your diapers clean. And for some people, they can use green, eco-friendly detergent. Some people need to use mainstream. Lots of things depend on that in terms of what your water type is, how much your washing machine is. So you definitely want to run a long hot wash. It needs to be at least 20 minutes. If it's less than that, then the diapers are definitely not going to get as much agitation to get all the waste out. A 10-minute cycle or 15. If you can run a cycle for 20 to 30 minutes, and on standard top loading machines, you can usually turn the dial back and just give it longer, and that way they just have the longest amount of time to agitate and to get all of the waste out, and that will help more so than even what detergent you're using as well. And if you have hard water, you definitely want to treat your hard water, because the diapers the hard water will cause the detergent to attack the water instead of the waste in the diapers. So by adding Calgon, that is the most gentle on the components. They use about a capful of the Calgon in your hot wash, and along with your detergent, and that helps the detergent do its job. So it's just keeping the minerals from being attacked by keeps the minerals from interfering with the washing process. You do want to do a hot wash. You want to do as heavy duty as you can, 20 to 30 minutes. And then, after you've done the 20 to 30 minute wash, if it's an HE machine and it's longer, that's fine as well. You want to run your rinse cycle. And if you do have the ability to pick your water level, you want to, for the hot wash, you want to, choose a water level that is going to cover your diapers, but not allow them to float around in the diaper, or the water, sorry. Hi, Laura. I hope you're having fun on your vacation. So you want to have your diapers be able to move around in the water. They want them to agitate together. You want them to be able to move. You don't want them to stay in one place, but you definitely not so much water that they're just floating around and they can't touch each other. The agitation really helps with moving as much waste out of the diapers as possible. And so once you do the agitation, once the agitation is done, your machine will switch to a rinse and spin. That is also sort of that can be sort of a discussion in terms of how many to do. One 1 or 2 is fine. I wouldn't recommend having to do more than 2. If you have to do 2, that's usually fine. If you have really hard water, you might want to add some Galgon to your final rinse to ensure that the minerals don't get deposited back on the diapers. But if you have medium, moderate water, then 1 to 2 rinses is good. And then after that, you're ready to dry. And I know that the naturals especially take a long time to dry. So, but the other thing too with staining is that sunning is really great to get stains out of the natural fibers. So if you can sun them for a little bit and then toss them in the dryer at the the end for when they might need 20, 30 minutes with some dryer balls, that will really help soften them up, get them completely dry. And everything else, wraps, pocket shells, wet bags, all of those are best line dried. They will definitely help extend the life of the elastic on the wraps and the pockets if you can line dry. And then dry on low. The only exception that we make for drying on high is about once a month or so, is to dry on high for 15 minutes. And that's if you're having some random leaking, you're just not sure if you want to, you're not sure where it's coming from. Drying on high for 15 minutes will help reseal the lamination if there's any pin or stitching holes. And this is good for prepping too. So if you're prepping a stash or a new diaper, tossing it in the dryer for 15 minutes after washing is a great way to do that. Oh, I see Hannah's comment. Yes, Colorado is also really great about being dry air. I'm here in Virginia at the moment, and it is very humid, so things never dry. And then Esther. Esther asked if you are supposed to use less detergent than your regular wash. Not necessarily. It really depends on what detergent you're using. It's sort of a myth to say that there's a detergent buildup. If you have soft water and you're using too much detergent, then yes, that can totally happen. You can have too much detergent in your diapers and it's not getting off the fabric. But if you have hard water and you're doing multiple rinses and there are no bubbles in your second rinse, then you have not used too much detergent. So and to be honest, like you're washing the worst stuff. Like you are trying to get out human waste. So you definitely want to use enough detergent to get that out. And like Stacy said, if it's plant-based, you definitely might have to use more to get them clean because of they're gentle on the components for your diapers, so your diapers will last longer. They're more eco-friendly, but you might have to use more to get all of the waste out. Oh, Danielle, let me see. Let me look at it. It is telling me if you dry. Yeah, so Danielle asked if you should only dry a wrap on high once a month if you're having issues. So yeah, if you're not having leaking issues, if you're not having random issues, then there's no need to dry on high. It's just something you could do every 6 months, something like that. If you have a good routine and you're not having leaking and you do good changing, then no, you don't have to do it ever. It's just something that we know helps occasionally, especially when you have random leaking and you can't really explain it. It definitely can help. It sort of reseals the pinholes or the stitching as well. Let's see if I have anything else that I can think of. I think that is all. If you guys have any more questions for me, I'm going to see if I can look at some things. Kathleen, we will cover bleach soaking eventually. Yeah, so let's see. I will show you this wet bag because it's real pretty. My daughter's gonna steal it from me. but I can't wait for it to be summer and to take it with me. So if nobody has any other questions, I do have to go get my kids at some point. But, let me know if you have any questions. And, if you have anything that we did not cover in terms of washing and care, we'll definitely get back to it eventually. Oh, Stacy, that's a good question. What is a good alternative for eczema or allergy-prone skin? So, personally, my children have really sensitive skin. We can only use all free and clear on our clothing. I have to use a specific dryer sheet, or they all, like my husband and my children, break out in rashes. So, I never could use Tide. I know that Tide is very popular in the cloth diapering detergents. There's a lot of people that use it, and that's the only thing that they can use. Personally, I never could use it because my kids would just break out in rashes. So, I used a lot of powdered detergents because I had hard water, and so I used some eco-friendly detergents. There was an Arm & Hammer that was an eco-friendly one that I don't think it's around anymore. But we do have a list of detergents on our website that are considered eco-friendly. They are not typically mainstream detergents, so they can be harder to find. The reason why they're on our list is because they are eco-friendly, they are safe for the components, and in most cases they don't have any added smells, any added enzymes, that kind of thing. They're all pretty cloth-safe, eco-friendly detergents, and so that's why that list is on our website. So that is typically where we start when recommending stuff that will not cause, for children that are more sensitive. And yes, we do. We're going to update some of the things on our list. There's a few brands that are no longer making them. But so yeah, we're going to work on that on our website. I'm sorry if I butcher your name, Babina asked if powder is better than liquid in general. And honestly, that depends on your water type. So if you have soft water, then a liquid is going to be really good for you because you don't need the added harshness of a powder. So if you have soft water, stick with a liquid. If you have hard water, search out a powder. And that combined with a water softener like Calgon can really help with stink issues, is doing something powdered over a liquid. Liquids are great in terms of being gentle on the components, but when you have to fight with the hard water, it's usually better to go with a powdered. I'm just reading your questions. Yeah, Esther, I also used Ecover and EcoSprout, and Molly Suds, and, oh, Heather, yeah, that is my understanding of it. I am not a chemist, so all of this is more of my, live and learn type stuff. So that is just my understanding of that. The powdered detergents have more water softeners than liquid ones. Yeah, and Ashley said that your machine also affects what works. And yes, if you have a machine that doesn't do well with powder, then that's definitely going to change how you have to wash them. Jamie, is that a question for me? I had a really old front-loaded or top-loading machine that I got from my husband's grandma after she passed away, and it was amazing. I have it in storage because I don't have a washer and dryer where I live now. But yeah, the older you have, usually the more water it gives you. You do want to make sure on the older ones that they rinse and spin well, because that can cause a lot of problems. I had an old washer that did not. So that is one thing that can affect it too, is your machine. So if you have a really old machine and you can never get your diapers to get clean, it's worth looking into making sure that the rinse and spin mechanisms are working properly. Heather, Does powder work in HE? It just depends on your machine. If your manual tells you you can or can't use a powder, you would want to go off that and not off of me, because you want to make sure you don't void your machine. So it just depends on the machine. I believe most HE top loaders allow powder, but the front loading ones only want you to use liquid. So, all right, ladies, I have to go to get my children, but please keep leaving questions in our posts, and we'll definitely get back to some that have that come up, and do more of our washing lives, just to make sure that we have a good base to start with and to go on. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at support@thirstiesbaby.com, and I'm happy to go over your routine. Just let me know what you're doing, what your problem is, detergent that you're using, and we can totally troubleshoot all those problems and hopefully get you to a good routine. And if you have any questions, let us know. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.